Welcome back. Let's get to it. Y'all know what it is. It's been a busy week.
And I'm told Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, the players, coaches, a lot of people on both sides with the Mavericks and Lakers had no idea. I can assuredly tell you it's a fact. LeBron James had no idea this was coming. Anthony Davis had no idea this was coming. I'm told Luka's deal materialized in the shadows. This came out of nowhere. This is maybe the most stunning trade, definitely that I've been a part of.
Patrick Perkins joins us right now. And Perky, you just heard Sham say it. Anthony Davis had no idea. Luka Doncic had no idea. LeBron James had no idea about this trade. However, I want to look at this from the Lakers' perspective. How do you see LeBron James and Luka Doncic teaming up together in the West?
Okay. First thing I'm gonna say, just things I'm highlighting that I look at like they're like it's important right now to look at. Um, Players weren't told. LeBron has never had to deal with a trade or any type of one of these, especially not a big move to one of his best teammates and not know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? To trade a guy like Luka Doncic, 5-time All NBA, 25 years old, and not tell him until it happened, that says a lot. You know what I'm saying? They changing the way they do business. And I think the Lakers are changing the way they do business, and I think the Mavericks are maintaining the way they do business. And I'll get more into that in a little bit. Also, this definitely shows that LeBron is not commanding the control of all the moving parts of the franchise, probably any more for the rest of his career. This is a benchmark that he's never had to see. So let's move on.
Don't think the Lakers are done yet. But look, when you talk about Luka Doncic, we know that he's an international superstar. We know that he's a guy that could go out there and get you 38 and 9 every single night. But what we do know is that Luka Doncic has a history of coming into training camp out of shape. Luka Doncic has a history of being injured when it comes to soft tissue injuries. A franchise player, I think this is going to be great for the Lakers long term. I just don't know short term. I believe that they're not done though.
Yeah, you outlined all those things about Luka Doncic, the conditioning, the concerns that the Dallas Mavericks have had about him. You know, when you take a look at this trade, who won on this side? Is it the Dallas Mavericks?
All right, I'm gonna stop it right there. The Mavericks, the Mavericks gain more in the short term, you could say, because he's such a good fit. He's a real good fit for the rest of the guys that's still there. You got Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, Daniel Gafford, likely PJ Washington. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be a very good look for Anthony Davis. This puts him in a very good place as far as his the rest of his basketball has to go. You know what I'm saying? He's with some guys who are definitely gonna be very helpful to what he's gonna be trying to do as a winner. So that's good for him. But I feel like, the Lakers really only need maybe two guys. And I was saying that before the trade. So they get a big guy, two big guys, a big guy and another reasonable size forward. They're gonna be fine. They're gonna be ready to ramp it up and talk about championships. But the question is, can they do that before tomorrow at 3 a.m.? I don't know. Let's move on. Oh, also, I think the Mavericks seem to agree with me that this transaction shows that the Mavericks agree with me a little bit that a questionable conditioning, a guy with decline in athleticism. Even though he's young, he's not getting any more athletic. And he's a guy who doesn't want to maintain that. At least not here in Dallas. You don't feel like you have to maintain that. But you're not going to lead us to a championship. Not that way. You're not gonna you're not gonna get a supermax. You're not gonna get a supermax with that attitude. And I think that's got to be forefront of what we're looking at right here. They took his supermax away. Yeah, it's money you'll never ever be able to recover again because you only get that maybe twice in your career. You could pull that off. Maybe. And he was definitely finna get it. And I'm sure he was ready to sign it. But that's done. You gotta go another 5 years or something. I'm not even positive on that. But from what I understand, you can earn it with another team. But now the team that drafted you has the option to give you the biggest one. So you'll get something, but you won't get what this was going to be if you had coasted all the way through. Now it's gone.
has been bringing to the table. The Dallas Mavericks, right now with this trade, are the second best team in the Western Conference behind the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I think it made it easy. Davis, he know him better than a lot of coaches around the league. He's going to get the best out of him. Now, when I look at the Lakers aspect of this trade, they won as well because they're building for the future. The questions come to mind. Is LeBron James? What's next for him? Is he going to consider retiring? I know he's going to play this season out. I don't think that the Lakers are done. I think they will make more moves heading into the trade deadline on.
I love this next thing, the next thing he's about to say, because it highlights all the reasons why what I'm saying about Luca is true, right? We all know he has injuries, nagging injuries, not chronic injuries, but nagging injuries, soft tissue injuries. You know what I'm saying? They're usually due to you don't do enough conditioning. These are things that are preventable to athletes who know it's preventable. You don't have to just be out of shape like that. And you see Jokic is out here running his back off. You know what I'm saying? And he's still a pretty big guy, but he can run. You know what I'm saying? The 7 foot guy can outrun you. That says a lot. In the basketball world, that says a lot. So, with that being said, all that stuff about his bad conditioning, him being in California, him being with LeBron, you know what I'm saying? Him being with the trainers, the type of food, you know what I'm saying, that he can use to really transform himself into the best version of himself. He'll have access to all of that. And I feel like, he'll listen to LeBron. He respects LeBron. He'll listen to him on the things that he helps him with. You know what I'm saying? And based on the comments I heard, there were comments made by his father and how they feel about how Dallas treated them. But I feel like, based on those comments, I feel like they'll just be coming out with a chip on their shoulder, ready to prove myself and the Dallas Mavericks very wrong about what type of kid he is, and that's a good thing.
in the prime of his career.
That's a good thing.
Why make this move if you're the Mavericks?
But he may not have been willing to listen until this happened.
I know that there's a temptation to focus on the Lakers here because they potentially just acquired the next great Laker, and it's an amazing story when you look at the history of their franchise. But the story of the moment and what my phone is filling up with is the reaction to the Dallas Mavericks making this move. I had an all-star, current NBA all-star text me and say, do you know how much the Mavericks must hate Luka? I mean, this is what they're talking about in the league. I've had, veteran coaches text me and say they can't believe they saw this. They just have never seen anything like this. And Luka is 25 years old, okay? He is under contract for several more years, and this summer he is already eligible for a Supermax. I find it completely unbelievable that he would not sign that contract. This was not done because the Mavericks didn't think Luka wanted to be there. Even if he didn't sign that contract, you would have a whole year to figure it out. This was done because the Mavericks didn't think that going forward with Luka was best for their franchise. Think about that statement. A 25-year-old who's been first-team All-NBA the last 5 years and carried them to the finals a few months ago. And they said, we want out of the Luka Doncic business, and we want out of it now. They didn't put him on auction, Kevin. They didn't say, we're going to trade Luka Doncic, bring us your offers. They targeted one team, and they made the offer and deal in stealth mode. This is just shocking. And I will say this. We all know what Luka's, pockmarks are. We all know what his deficiencies are. We all have seen his greatness. But nobody in the world has more information on Luka Doncic than the Mavericks. And the Mavericks just pulled the ripcord. It's a stunning situation.
Brian, for the Lakers here, the consensus tonight among those we've spoken to, Stephen A. Smith, Kendrick Perkins, is that the Lakers are not built to win right now. With a 40-year-old LeBron James, what else can be done this season to put them in that mode?
Okay, so that is the discussion that is happening now throughout the league. My phone is now moving past Luka into what happens with LeBron. And from Shams Charania and Dave McMenamin, tonight we know that LeBron did not know this was coming. He was at a restaurant after leading the Lakers to a victory at MSG. When he found this out. This is his running mate. This is his teammate at Clutch Sports. Again, this is the guy that he brought into the Lakers and welcomed in and won a championship.
Guys are being shown the boot. Guys are being shown who they are and put in their place and all of that. Understand, LeBron hasn't been shown the door, and they're not in that type of business. Even though, maybe we're not asking you and questioning you about every move we make. He hasn't been shown the door. And he said today if he had been unhappy that he would have, waived his no-trade clause and got up out of there. If this made him that unhappy. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't. He wants to play with Luka. It'll be interesting to see. And it'll help them. The fact that he's there to be with Luka. You know what I'm saying? So, but it does definitely express from the Lakers that when you ready to hang him up, big fella, you can hang him up. You know what I'm saying? When you ready. Don't sit here and think that, you got to go out here and try to be the franchise. You see what I'm saying? They already had that established with Anthony Davis, but there's still another level of what are y'all gonna do when I'm gone that guys do tend to think about. It's like I can play here as long as I want, or whatever. Maybe on the other end of the spectrum, like, well, I'm gonna just stay because they can't kick me out of here. So it's one of those things you just. I think it's a good thing that they brought him in, and I think that's a good thing that he's going to be able to play with Luka because he's going to make Luka better, a lot better, and he's going to be in a lot better shape. And I'm sure it'll excite LeBron, and he'll play better because of it. All of that, all of these things are good things.
The season,
good things.
And now they don't have a starting center, so they're obviously going to have to make some move here. But the Lakers are going to have to go to LeBron and get a feel for him about the trade clause, so he has total control over this. I don't want to speculate as to what's going to happen. I will say this. I know that LeBron has a great affinity for Luka Doncic. Within Nike and within major events, all-star teams and stuff, he has a connection there. So I think that I could see them playing together. But this move was made for the next decade of Laker basketball, not for the rest of this season.
Brian, quickly, Luka has not played since Christmas Day. What are you hearing about when he might be back?
Yes, he's definitely ramping up and getting closer. I don't know if they for sure have a date in mind, but there was a feel that he could be back before the All-Star break, which is, in 2 weeks.
Anthony Davis did not play tonight against the Knicks for the Lakers, and now it makes sense why. But I'm going to look at this from a Mavericks perspective. The Mavericks were in the NBA Finals last year. Why do this trade right now when you seemingly are that close to winning a championship?
Well, first of all, again, we don't know. We don't know what happened. We don't know if Luka demanded out. Luka's only played 22 games this year. He's already missed 27 games this year, okay? So you don't know about his health and when he was going to be available. That's number one. Number two, understand that while there is a drop-off offensively because Anthony Davis is not Luka Doncic, this is not a scrub we're talking about. This is a perennial all-star and one of the elite players in the game that can give you 25 to 30 every single night. That's on offense. Don't even bring up defense. On the defensive side of the floor, Anthony Davis is a gazillion times more significant and better than anything Luka Doncic will give you defensively. Anthony Davis is a rim protector. He's a rebounder. He's a shot blocker. And when you talk about competing for a championship, you're going to need somebody that can do those things defensively, that can do those things on your front court on both sides of the ball. Anthony Davis is that guy. So you can't look at it and say, well, we were in the finals last year, so you're conceding that that's not going to be the case by acquiring Anthony Davis. This is not a scrub we're talking about. This is one of the elite players in basketball. He's no Luka offensively, make no mistake about it, but he is far from a scrub. A matter of fact, he's pretty damn elite offensively, and defensively, there's nothing to talk about. It's a significant upgrade that the Dallas Mavericks just achieved.
So if we look at the Lakers now, this is a very new look. Obviously, they have J.J. Redick as their head coach, and they've got LeBron James. We know that. And now you add Luka Doncic to the mix. And Stephen A., if we could take a step back now, what do you expect this Lakers team to look like going forward? I'm not even mentioning the Markieff Morris of it all or Kleba. What do you think?
Well, you're looking at the Lakers for next year and beyond.
Bottom line is, Anthony Davis makes the Mavericks a juggernaut right now. They're a juggernaut. I'm not saying they can't be beat, but they hard up for a loss with him and Kyrie and Klay Thompson and the two good fives, athletic fives, and a nice set of swing guys that can play small forward and combo guard. So Mavericks should be very happy with what they did and what their future looks like for the next 5 years or so. You know what I'm saying? Undoubtedly for the next 5. Maybe the Lakers did get the next 10 years sewed up. That's good. But the next 5, Mavericks ain't bad. Mavericks are just fine. Just fine.
This is a move for the future. Luka Doncic is 25 years of age. Anthony Davis is 31. Luka's going to be 26 February 28th. Anthony Davis is going to be 32 in March. He's got him by 6 years. And so when you look at the Los Angeles Lakers, it is clearly a move for the future, meaning post-LeBron. That's what this is. And every move that they make from now on is going to be to build the team around Luka Doncic, because you now have a global star who's going to be box office, who's going to attract an audience for you. People are going to walk through the turnstiles to see him and what he brings to. He can commit himself to being in shape, which is something Luka Doncic has never, ever done. The bottom line is that the Lakers' future is going to be perceived as being very, very bright, but not necessarily this season.
Let's welcome in Kendrick Perkins, who's going to join this conversation with us, Stephen A. Smith. And so, Perk, obviously you've heard the trade details now. Mavericks are trading Luka Doncic, and they're getting AD, and Stephen A. Smith on the line as well here, Perk. And he was just saying that, yes, both teams do get richer in this deal, and they both win. However, the defensive side of things now for the Lakers looks a little bit more glim, if you will. How problematic might that be? Yes, Luka Doncic is a fantastic scorer, but defensively, he can't do what AD does.
Yeah, I mean, he can't, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's showing me that the Lakers are not trying to win right now. And they're going to have time to actually build a roster around Luka Doncic. Now, how many years LeBron James has left, we don't know. But at the end of the day, the Lakers had no choice but to make this move. Luka comes available, you have to get Anthony Davis. And again, the Lakers wasn't that great of a team defensively, even with Anthony Davis. I know individually he's one of the best in the league, but again, Shay, I just think both sides won in this, but I'm curious. I want to know more information. I need to know the tea. I need to know the scoop. What went on behind the scenes that the Dallas Mavericks said, you know what, it's time? Or did Luka request a trade out?
Stephen A., do you agree with Perk? Do you think both teams won in this situation? Still there?
Wins. I think if you're the Dallas Mavericks, you're winning right now. From the standpoint that Anthony Davis, there's no slippage. First of all, he's healthier than Luka Doncic, despite missing the Knicks game tonight. He played 76 games last year. He's played a lot of games this year. Hasn't missed only just a handful of games. That's number one. Number two, you improve exponentially on the defensive side of the ball. You got a rim protector, a shot blocker, a rebounder, somebody who can score in the post, somebody who can go inside or outside. Now you have an elite all-star on your front line to pair with Kyrie Irving on the perimeter. So you win if you're the Dallas Mavericks and you haven't slipped in terms of competing in the West for a chance at getting back to the NBA Finals. If you're the Lakers, it's a different kind of win. I don't think the Lakers win this year. First of all, we don't know how healthy Luka could end up being. He's already missed 27 games this year. Secondly, the Dallas Mavericks called the Lakers, as Shams reported. Well, why did you call the Lakers? What the hell happened? Because this is a global superstar. He's somebody that's good for the bottom line. For the Dallas Mavericks to...
I just gotta say this. I'm sorry. I called him lively. My bad.
Call somebody, especially the Los Angeles Lakers, for the services of Luka Doncic. Something is wrong with this picture. You don't trade a Luka Doncic, who, by the way, is 25 years old and just took you to the NBA Finals. And by the way, that was a couple of years after he took you to the Western Conference Finals. He hasn't even turned 26 yet. He's a 6'7" point guard, averaging 28 a game. You don't call somebody else to trade that dude unless something, I dare say, I won't say catastrophic, but